Greetings and welcome to today's session. In today's session, we are going to look at one of the first KABS ICT Resources Center paper for 2025. This is a Senior 4 paper or New Lower Secondary Curriculum ICT paper. This is paper 1 that we are going to look at, and it is a standard paper. It can be used by Senior 4 candidates as a pre-registration paper or as a resource paper as a mock exam. So this is paper 1, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Instructions to candidates. This paper consists of 2 sections, A and B. It has 5 examination items. Section A has 1 compulsory item. Section B has 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. Answer 1 item from each part. In total, answer 3 examination items. So those are the instructions. Now, candidates who are preparing to do this kind of paper, they need to be aware the type of questions they are expecting in ICT paper 1. Where do they come from? What do we expect out of them? So let's first briefly look at that, what we call the construct and the elements of construct. So in ICT, the construct is appreciates and uses basic ICTs to solve societal problems. That is the main construct. Meaning that at the back of your mind as a learner, you need to appreciate that ICTs have existed, and then you use them to solve societal problems. That means that the questions you are going to attempt are scenario based. We pick scenarios from different societies, or individuals are facing certain challenges, and now it's you to provide solutions using ICTs. Then, when it comes to ICT paper 1, this is the setup. ICT paper 1 has 5 items. These 5 items, you are supposed to attempt only 3 in total. And these 3 questions are taken from each element of construct. This is a theory paper, you are only writing. So you need to read, you need to understand all the elements of construct, the topics where they are taken from, and then you write your exam. So when it comes to paper 1, element of construct 1 appreciate and manages a computer system. From this element of construct 1, this is where you find the first compulsory item. Then element of construct 2, this is where you find section B, and it has 2 items. You attempt only 1 item from section B, part 1. And the construct says, appreciates ICT's safety and proper management of e-waste. 2 questions, attempt 1. Then, element of construct 3, it forms section B, part 2. It has 2 questions, you attempt only 1. And the construct says, accesses, stores, and shares information using ICTs. So, as a candidate preparing to do this paper, as a teacher preparing your learners to do ICT paper 1, they need to know this basis. Then, as you plan to do your paper as a candidate, we have said the paper takes 2 hours and 15 minutes. At best, use 20 minutes interpreting questions and choosing the best items for yourself. We have said item 1 is compulsory. First, read all those items, go to section B, read all the items. Then from there, in those 20 minutes, in section B, part 1, you say, I will either do item 2. If I'm not comfortable with item 2, no, I'm going to do item 3. Then, in section B, part 2, you can either do item 4 or do item 5. These are the 20 minutes you are trying to interpret questions and choosing the best items for yourself. Then use 35 minutes to do item 1, which is compulsory. When item 1 is done, use 35 minutes to attempt and approach either item 2 or item 3 in section B, part 1. Then use 30 minutes to attempt and approach either item 4 or item 5, depending on your choice in section B, part 2. Use 5 minutes to check through the work that you have done to ensure that you have numbered your work very well. Your work has introductions. Your work has the right body. The structure of the body is clear. It can be a report. It can be a proposal. It can be any write-up. Make sure it has introduction, the body is there, and the conclusion. There we say you have planned very well your paper. Now, as you are going to start writing, there are some misconceptions that you need to avoid. Someone might say that digital cars, microwaves, fans, and fridges, etc. are ICTs. No, let's avoid such kind of misconceptions. More to that, functions, uses, and advantages, they are different. Then tools and devices are also different. So make sure that you avoid such kind of misconceptions. Then your ideas, your responses are presented in brief and precise paragraphs. Make sure that you number all the items that you have attempted. Item 1, part A. Item 1, part B. Item 2. Item 4. Make sure you number them very well. Then at least make sure your handwriting is neat. Let's see all the 21st century skills within you. Let's see the generic skills within you. So handwriting skills, at least make sure the handwriting is clear for those who will be scoring your items. So we can now get started on these elements of construct. When it comes to item 1, which comes from element of construct 1, that you appreciate and manage a computer system, we expect you at least to bring out this skill in your responses. You mention the relevant ICT tools. You explain to us how that ICT tool is applied or used in that scenario itself. Don't bring the definition of the ICT tool, or you just bring the use without telling us how it is applied in this very scenario. Then you can bring a judgment, a solution, or a recommendation in item 1 tasks. Those are the skills we need you to bring out. Which topics should you look at when preparing for item 1 scenarios? You must have read and understood Introduction to ICTs, which is topic 1. Topic 2, computer hardware and system startup. Topic 9, word processing 2. Topic 10, spreadsheets 2. Topic 12, database management system. Topic 15, basic software management. Topic 16, system and data security. The ICT tools that we are talking about here, they are both hardware and software. You can also include what we call network tools. So those are the ICT tools we talk about, and whatever we are listing, we find them in Introduction to ICT, computer hardware and system startup, word processing tool, spreadsheets tool, database management system, basic software management system, and data security. So there are some codes. These ones I'm going to talk about when we are looking at the item itself. Then when it comes to element of construct 2, which we say that it has 2 items, you choose one. It is taken from this construct, appreciating ICT safety and management of e-waste. Which skills are we looking at? Have you mentioned or identified a relevant item, a relevant cause, or a stakeholder? Have you managed to explain how it is applied, used, or caused? Did you manage to provide the mitigation measures, or how a cause can be avoided? Something like that. Those are the skills we expect you to bring out. Now, the topics to focus on for item 2 and item 3, you need to have understood topic 8, health and safety. You need to have understood topic 14, electronic waste management. Then topic 16, system and data security. Then information access and sharing, which is topic 7. Then there are codes we use while scoring. I will talk about them when we go to the item and show you how we apply them. Then when it comes to element of construct 3, which forms section B, part 2, that is item 4 and 5. The element of construct says accesses, stores, and shares information using ICTs. Which skills are you supposed to showcase, to bring out? You have to outline a relevant step. You have to identify the relevant ICT tools. Then you also explain how those tools are applied. You bring out the logical flow of steps. We are going to see that practically here. We see how everything is done. Which topics should you focus on? There is a topic of file and folder management, which is topic 3. Topic 7, information access and sharing. Topic 11, electronic publications. And topic 13, website design. So these are the topics for item 4 and 5. Now, there are also codes we use while scoring the items. And then from there, I would like us to focus on our paper. Section A, this item is compulsory. Item 1 says, Sarah operates a small but growing poultry farm on the outskirts of Masindi town. She keeps physical records of egg production, bird feeding schedules, and customer orders in several notebooks. However, she often loses track of which birds were fed, at what time, and finds it hard to determine whether she's making profits or losses. Sometimes her books get misplaced or damaged due to poor storage, and she struggles to summarize sales and production trends for her monthly planning. Recently, an agricultural extension officer visited her farm and observed the challenges. He advised her to adopt digital tools to manage her records and improve planning and decision making. Task: advise Sarah on most appropriate ICT tools she can use to manage and analyze her poultry farm records. Part B: explain how Sarah can back up her data to avoid future losses or damage. So that is item 1, which is compulsory. So I would like us now to see the scoring guide of this item and then also the expected responses as we score them. So from here I have prepared the scoring guides for every item with the expected responses. So this is what you can call the marking guide for these items. Then here is the scoring guide for item 1. We have the competence, basis of assessment, the code, evidence, skill, ability, or the score, or the description of the code, the descriptor. Now, if the learner has provided a focused introduction, that one lies under the format of the presentation, the format of the document, FP for item 1, it carries 1 score. Here the learner provides a focused introduction that clearly identifies Sarah's business challenges and the need for ICT. It takes 1 weight. If there is no response, no score there. Then another competence advises Sarah on the appropriate ICTs tools, manage and analyze her poultry records. Here you are describing description for item 1, marks the more than sufficient tools identified and explained, you get 4 scores. This is the DS item 1, 4 scores. Here you have identified and explained 5 or more ICT tools stroke software appropriate for farm management. 5 and more, we say those are more than sufficient. Then, if you have given more than sufficient, the 5 and more, you get 4 weights. Then, if you have described and explained those ICT tools and you have given 3 to 4, we give you 3 weights. We say those are sufficient. Then you have described 1 to 2 tools or software, we say those are less than sufficient, you qualify for 2 weights. If you have given 1 tool, that is basic, you get 1 weight. Then part B of the task was looking at you to explain how Sarah can back up her data to avoid future loss or damage. Here, you are trying to give a management measure. How best can we back up? You are bringing out how you can back up. You are bringing out your responses in line to safety management. So here, you are explaining the management of the tools. You are explaining how to back up. So this is explaining the management measures. You identify and explain 5 or more backup strategies. If we have identified and explained 5 or more, we say those are more than sufficient. You will qualify for 4 weights. You have identified and explained 3 to 4. Those are sufficient, 3 scores. You have identified and explained 1 to 2 strategies. Those are less than sufficient. You get 2 scores. If you have mentioned 1 strategy, even without an explanation, we say that is basic. You qualify for 1 weight. The conclusion, the CLN, is part of the format of the presentation, and this is the candidate provides a relevant conclusion with a solution or judgment or a recommendation. You qualify for 1 score or 1 weight. If you have not given a conclusion, you get 0 scores. Then, format of the presentation generally, we are looking at a structured report, a write-up, a letter, a proposal. Here, you also get 1 score. So the format of the document generally takes 3 weights. So total weights for item 1 are 11. Let's now look at the expected responses, how a candidate is supposed to bring out the responses for this task. You can pause the video and first look at this task very well, as we also prepare to respond to it. So here we can start responding to our item. Section A, item 1. Responses for item 1. Introduction. It is up to a learner to write the word introduction or leave it out, but we are aiming at this statement, something that will get you started to bring the ICT tools. An eye-opening opener, an opening remark. Sarah faces difficulties in managing portrait records using manual notebooks, resulting into data loss, poor planning, and inefficient tracking of stock and sales. ICT tools can streamline her operations and provide better analysis. So here are the appropriate ICT tools we can recommend. So we can now start scoring the responses. We started with the introduction. So when you are having your introduction, we can say int introduction, and introduction is carrying 1 weight. Then ICT tool and its use in the scenario itself. So here we are now identifying our tool. After identifying our tool, we can now describe it. That is DS. Then from there, we are looking at another tool, which is Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. So we just put I for identifying the tool. Then from there, used to record egg production, feed schedules, calculate profits or losses, and generate graphs. So this is another DS. Another tool, farm management apps, e.g. Agro app. We have identified the tool. It is used for making record keeping. It is for mobile record keeping, reminders, and performance tracking. Here, the candidate has described. Another tool is database software, e.g. Microsoft Access. You identify a tool. It is for organizing customer data, stock, and sales. You have described your tool. Another ICT tool, a smartphone, you identify. Then it is for portable entry of data, taking photos, and using mobile farm tools. So this is a description. Another tool, printer, you have identified it, to print summaries and invoices. This is a description. Internet connection, you identify a tool. to access cloud tools, market info, and mobile apps. This is also a description. So when you look at all these, we have said that if the learner has managed to identify and explain 5 or more ICT tools, those are more than sufficient. So here, the candidate qualifies for 4 weights. More to that, backup strategies. Under backup strategies, we are looking at a learner explaining the management measure. Number 1, cloud storage, e.g. Google Drive, Dropbox. So here, the candidate is bringing out a backup method and is also explaining that method. So which tools, which codes are we supposed to use? Here we have our backup strategies, and then we are explaining. You bring out a point and clearly explain it. So how should we best score part B of the question? Part B of this question, we are supposed to score it as follows. We are going to write, we have identified a backup method, and then we have explained it. We just put M because it is a management measure. Here is a tool, USB flash drive or external hard drive. What does it do? For manual backup of firm data weekly or monthly. Regular backup schedule is also a backup strategy. Sarah can backup her records every Saturday to ensure minimal losses. That is M. Then, use of passwords and file encryption. This is also a backup strategy to protect records from unauthorized access. Is a management measure that is well explained. Then, proper file naming and folder organization. You have identified that to easily retrieve reports, e.g. sales March 2025 XLSX. You have given that. So this means that part B, we are looking at explaining the management measure, and we said maximum. Maximum, we are looking at the learner was given 5 and above. EM is 0.4. Those are the weights, and here these were for generally describing the ICT tools. Then from there, conclusion. The learner can write the word conclusion or you leave it out, but what we need is a statement that is concluding what you have written above. With the right ICT tools and data backup strategies, Sarah can improve her firm's productivity, reduce record loss, and make informed business decisions. So here we have concluded, and now here on conclusion, we say here is also another format of the document. We can give it 0.1 score. So this means that on our item 1, we have seen item 1 DS 0.4. We have seen EM equals 0.4. Then we have seen format of the document, which includes introduction, conclusion, and the body generally the format of the report, which was taking 3 scores. And so total for item 1, they become 11 weights. 11 weights. So from here, if you have gotten all the 11 weights, at the bottom of this guide, I have included a table for examiners' use only. Item 1, weights. Out of 11 weights, the learner has scored 11. We proceed. We now go to item 2. When it comes to item 2, that is section B. Section B, part 1. Section B, part 1, answer one item from this part. Item 2. At Bright Future Secondary School, the administration has observed that many learners are increasingly distracted in class due to constant use of smartphones and other digital devices. Some students secretly browse social media during lessons, while others stay up late chatting while watching videos or playing games. This has contributed to poor academic performance, complaints of fatigue, and health concerns like eye strain and poor sleep patterns. Concerned about the situation, the school principal proposes a campaign to raise awareness about the consequences of excessive ICT use and promote healthier digital habits among students. Task: prepare a short guide for students on responsible ICT use, highlighting potential dangers of misuse and how to use the internet ethically and safely in a school setting. This is our item, this is our scenario and the task. So when it comes to section B, part 1, scoring guide for item 2 goes as follows. The competence or basis of assessment, the code, evidence or the descriptor, skill ability exhibited, the weights. The learner gives a focused introduction, then it is part of the format of the document. For item 2, it takes 1 score. Provides a focused introduction that highlights student misuse of ICTs and sets the stage for an awareness campaign. 1 weight. If you have not given any response, you have not given a focused introduction, or the introduction is irrelevant, no weights. The learner explains the consequences of excessive ICT use. So here you are explaining the consequence, EC. You are explaining the cause, EC. If you have identified and explained 5 or more consequences, CQ, across at least 3 categories, e.g. health, academic decline, behavioral or privacy concerns, 5 and more, we say they are more than sufficient. The learner qualifies for 5 weights. Then if you have explained or you have identified and explained 3 to 4 consequences, we say those are sufficient, and so you qualify for 3 weights. You have given only 1 to 2. We say that is basic. You qualify for 1 weight. Then, if you are now going to provide the management measures, providing the management measures provides guidelines or measures for responsible and ethical ICT use. So here, if the learner identifies and explains 6 or more measures, MT, addressing safe, ethical, and balanced use of ICT, 6 weights. If you have provided management measures 4 to 5, you get 5 scores. You have identified and explained 2 to 3, those are 2 weights. You have identified or you have mentioned 1 or 2 measures, that is 1 score or 1 weight. Then, in the format of the document, we expect to see a conclusion. Provides a relevant conclusion about what you have written. You qualify for 1 weight. If there is no conclusion or it is an irrelevant summary, 0 score. Again, in the format of the document, we want to see have you presented it in a formal structure, e.g., awareness guide, a structured write-up, or a formal talk script. That is 1 score. If it is not formally presented or poorly organized, that format of the document, the last one, you will not get. Maximum weight 14. Why are they 14? We are looking at maximum weights here, 6 for providing management measures. We are looking at 5 for explaining the consequences, introduction, conclusion, and the format. Let's now dive into the expected responses. Number your work very well. Section B, part 1, item 2. So let's see expected responses for item 2. You begin by bringing out the introduction. You can write the word introduction or leave it out, but make sure there is that catchy statement opening your presentation. Many students at Bright Future Secondary School misuse ICT tools like smartphones, especially during class time and late at night. This leads to academic setbacks, health problems such as eye strain and fatigue, and growing concerns around online safety. The school aims to address this through a responsible internet use campaign. So, here are the consequences of excessive ICT use. So, how are we going to work on this? So, you identify a cause or a consequence and explain it. So we are having a category under academic performance. So under academic performance, there is distraction during class due to social media or games results in poor concentration, incomplete assignments, and low test weights. So this means that here we are bringing a consequence CQ, and then from there we continue. Health issues. There is fatigue, eye strain, back pain, and disrupted sleep caused by prolonged device usage and late night internet activity. So here is also a cause. Then from there, behavior problems. There is reduced physical activity, withdrawal from social interaction, and poor communication with peers is a consequence. CQ. There is also privacy and safety risks. Here we are looking at a consequence. There is oversharing of personal data on social platforms. This can lead to identity theft or online harassment. This is also a consequence. Then, moral ethical risks. There is exposure to inappropriate content, engaging in plagiarism, and participating in cyber bullying. This is also a consequence. CQ. Now, I want us to look at the management measures. So after seeing all these consequences, we have seen that in our scoring guide, if the learner has provided at least 5 consequences, those are more than sufficient. If you have provided 5 or more, those are more than sufficient. So here we can have explaining the consequences or causes. EC, we are looking at 5 scores, or call them 5 weights. Now, let's look at guidelines for responsible and ethical ICT use. So we are going to identify a point, an idea, a response, then we clearly explain it or we clearly illustrate it. So 1. Limit screen time. So you have identified limit screen time. Avoid excessive use of phones or computers by setting daily limits, especially outside academic use. So from here, you have given a management measure. So here that is MT is a management measure. Another one, prioritize educational use. Use the internet mainly for research, assignments, and learning platforms like Zoom, Khan Academy, or e-learning portals. That is also a management measure, MT. Then, avoid device use during lessons unless allowed. Phones should be kept off or silent to promote focus in class. That is another management measure or a mitigation measure. Note that protect personal information. Never share passwords, school IDs, phone numbers, or photos with strangers online. This is also another mitigation measure well explained. Use strong passwords and log out when done. It helps to safeguard personal and academic accounts from unauthorized access. This is another mitigation measure. Report harmful or inappropriate content. Inform a trusted adult, a teacher, or ICT staff member if exposed to harmful websites or online threats. That is a management measure. Respect others online. Avoid rude comments, forwarding fake news, or sharing others' content without consent. That is another mitigation measure. Stick to verified and secure websites. How? Always cross-check sources and avoid clicking on untrusted links or pop-ups. That is another management measure. Follow school ICT rules. How? Comply with the school's ICT usage policy to promote a respectful and safe learning environment. That is another mitigation measure that you have provided. So, when you look at all these mitigation measures, management measures for this item, we are now going to say the learner has provided all the mitigation measures for item 2 and you have qualified for 6 scores because they are more than 5 or more. That's what our scoring guide was saying. Providing the management measures, if you identify and explain 6 or more management measures, you get 6 scores. So it is from here that now we can conclude our write-up. Conclusion. When students use the internet responsibly, it supports learning and improves safety, health, and academic outcomes. The campaign should help learners build balanced digital habits and prevent misuse of ICT. So this is conclusion, and this conclusion also takes 1 score. So conclusion is part of the format of the document. Now we have 1, we had explaining the consequences, EC equals 0.5. Then you have provided the management measures. The management measures, maximum 6 weights. Then format of the document, it includes introduction, body, and a conclusion. These are 3. So in total, we have said that item 2 takes 14 weights. So these are the 14 weights. Now we go down to our table for examiners use only. So it is from here that item 2 takes 14 marks. If the candidate has attempted item 3, still they weigh the same scores in this particular paper. Let's now look at item 3. Item 3. During a class group presentation at Lakeside Secondary School, students attempted to use a projector to display their PowerPoint slides. The student responsible for setting up the equipment mistakenly plugged the projector's power cable into an incompatible socket without checking the voltage. This resulted in a sudden electrical surge, which caused the projector and the connected laptop to stop functioning. There was also a burning smell, causing panic in the class. Later, the ICT teacher discovered that the equipment had not been tested or maintained for months, and that learners were not given guidance on proper handling of the hardware. Task. Part A. Explain the causes of such ICT hardware damage and the precautions that the learners and the school should take to prevent electrical accidents and protect devices. Part B. Describe how the school can manage and safely dispose of damaged or obsolete ICT equipment stored in the lab or other offices. You can pause and read through this item again. Let's now look at its scoring guide and the expected responses. So we are now going to look at generally item 3 and its expected responses. Now here is the scoring guide for item 3. Section B, part 1, scoring guide for item 3. Competence or basis of assessment. The learner has provided a focused introduction, that is format of the document, the code FP. Skill or evidence or the description, the descriptor of the code and the weights. Provides a focused introduction highlighting the importance of safe hardware setup and maintenance in a school setting. 1 weight. The learner describes the likely causes of hardware damage and precautions the learners and the school should take. Here you are explaining the possible causes. So here, that is explaining the cause. C, it is not actually CQ, but it is a C only. And then you suggest the possible precautions, MT. More than 5, those are more than sufficient, and you qualify for 5 weights. If the learner has identified and explained 3 to 4 causes, C, and provides the management measure, MT, those are sufficient, you qualify for 3 scores. You have identified and explained 1 to 2 causes and the precautions, those are basic. We say we give you 1 score. Then more to that, describe how the school can manage and safely dispose of the damaged or obsolete ICT equipment stored in the lab and other offices. Here you are providing the management measures. Identifies and explains 6 or more management strategies, the stakeholders involved and the role they play. So the management measures, M, stakeholders, SH, and the roles they play, R. So 6 measures, 6 stakeholders and their roles. Those are more than sufficient. You qualify for 6 weights. If you have provided 45 management measures, 45 stakeholders and their roles, those are sufficient. You qualify for 5 weights. You have identified and explained 2 to 3 management measures, 2 to 3 stakeholders, and 2 to 3 roles. Those are less than sufficient. You qualify for 2 weights. Then you have given 1 to 2 management measure, 1 to 2 stakeholders, and 1 to 2 roles. That is basic. You qualify for 1 weight. Then you have given a conclusion. It is part of the format of the document. If the conclusion is clear, you qualify for 1 weight. Then generally the format of the document, a structured report, a letter, a write-up, a proposal, 1 weight. Item 2 was taking 14 weights, and so item 3 takes 14 weights. They must weigh the same because the candidate is doing either item 2 or item 3. Let's now look at the expected response for this very item. So here you write section B, part 1, item 3. Introduction. Electrical damage during a class. Presentation at Lakeside Secondary School revealed gaps in the school ICT safety practices, a lack of testing, poor maintenance, and untrained learners contributed to the incident. Moving forward, the school must adopt clear safety protocols for using ICT equipment and manage damaged devices responsibly. So this is our introduction, and this introduction qualifies for 1 weight. Let's look at the causes and the preventive measure. Cause, the C and MT. Cause, we have unverified power source. Unverified power source. Devices were connected without confirming voltage compatibility. Here, we need to use surge protectors, voltage regulators, or UPS systems to stabilize power and shield devices from sudden surges. So this one is a management measure. Lack of ICT user training was a cause. Students mishandled hardware due to limited knowledge. So here, we need to train learners and staff on proper hardware connection, shutdown procedures, and safe operation. Use ICT lessons or workshops for this purpose. So this is a management measure. Another one, which is a cause, neglected maintenance routines. Devices hadn't been checked or tested for months. So this one is also a cause. How do we prevent this? Create a preventive maintenance schedule. It can be monthly or termly for all ICT labs and offices. You can also assign technical staff or an ICT coordinator to manage the checklist. So this is a management measure. Absence of protective hardware infrastructure. Power extension cables or sockets were not standardized or labeled. It was a cause. C. How do we prevent this? Use labeled power points, certified extension cables, and maintain a structured setup in computer labs as a mitigation or management measure. More to that, inappropriate storage conditions. Dusty, damp, or cluttered spaces contribute to device deterioration as a cause. C. Store ICT tools in lockable dry rooms with shelves, cable organizers, and equipment covers. Also, avoid placing gadgets directly on the floor or in open areas. That is a mitigation measure. More to that, another cause, no risk preparedness in lesson planning. The teacher did not check functionality prior to students' presentation. This was a big cause. Teachers should preview, inspect, and test hardware before assigning learners to use ICT equipment. Use checklists to ensure readiness. That is a mitigation measure. Additional points or additional ideas: ensure every lab has an ICT safety guide poster with rules. Label all ICT cables and ports clearly to guide learners. Create a user logbook to track who uses which device and when promoting responsibility. Use auto shutdown timers for projectors to prevent overheating. So all these ones are part of the management measures. So now, when you look at part A, generally, we were explaining the cause, and from our scoring guide, we said if the learner has identified and explained 5 or more causes, you qualify for 5 weights. That is the explaining the causes and the mitigation measures there. Now, let's now look at part B of the question, how the school can manage and safely dispose of damaged or obsolete ICT tools that are in the computer lab or other offices. Responsible management of ICT junk, or call it the e-waste. So in here, we are looking at a learner bringing out the management measure, the stakeholder involved, and the roles they play. If you have given 6, all of them you qualify for 6 weights. So, as schools adopt more digital tools, damaged or obsolete ICT devices like monitors, CPUs, printers, cables, batteries often pile up, creating safety, health, and environmental hazards. So here, I'm giving you a management method. I explain it and then the stakeholder and their roles. So from here, we can get started. 1. Recover and reuse working parts. Salvage usable parts, e.g. RAM, hard disks, keyboards, from damaged devices and install them in functional systems or use for ICT practicals. So here you have given a management approach. Which stakeholders are involved in recovering and reusing working parts? ICT teacher or technician? What is the role of the ICT teacher or technician? Is to identify salvageable parts and oversees reuse. So here, this is a stakeholder and this is the role. Students here. Students learn hands-on through guided hardware lessons. So students here, they are stakeholders and this is their role. Then, let's look at another method, repair and repurpose devices. What do I mean here? Some slightly damaged computers or peripherals can be repaired and repurposed as practice machines, reference stations, or offline content access points. So this is a management measure. Who are the stakeholders and their roles? We have local technical institutes. These can assist in low-cost repairs. This one is a stakeholder, and this is their role. Another stakeholder is school administration. Their role is to authorize repairs and assign budget. R. Now, another method, safe storage and documentation. What do we mean here? Damaged items should be kept in a clean, dry, and locked room or cabin. Items must be labeled as faulty, pending disposal, or parts only. So here is a mitigation measure, a management measure, how we can dispose of. Who are the stakeholders? ICT coordinator. ICT coordinator maintains an inventory of faulty items. That is his role or her role. What if it is a school security or support staff as a stakeholder? Their role is to ensure items are stored safely. Number 4, we can donate to vocational institution. What do we mean generally? Unfixable items can be donated to technical schools for teaching, dismantling, circuit analysis, or e-repair skills. So this is a management measure. Who are the stakeholders involved here? School administration. Their role is to coordinate donation agreements. How about local technical institutes? As stakeholders, their role is to receive and use items in training labs. So, another one, engage certified e-waste recyclers. These ones, you find that the licensed e-waste recyclers, they safely dismantle and recycle ICT junk to prevent environmental damage and recover materials. Who are the stakeholders involved and their role? E-waste recycling companies, e.g. We Center, EnviroSave. Their role is to collect and process items. Government agencies as stakeholders such as NEMA, Ministry of ICT, their role is to provide approved recycling partners and policies. Number 6, another response, another method, create a formal disposal policy. Schools need a clear asset decommissioning policy that defines timelines, roles, and methods of ICT disposal as a management measure. The stakeholders, school management or ICT committees. Their role is to develop and enforce the security. Another one can be the Ministry of Education or local authorities as stakeholders. Their role may provide policy templates. Let's now look at the last measure, to conduct awareness and sensitization. We need to educate staff, learners about e-waste dangers, toxicity, electronic hazards, fire risk, and the need for responsible disposal. Who are the stakeholders? ICT teachers integrate e-waste awareness in lessons as the role. Head teachers and admins as stakeholders. They need to organize safety talks. NGOs or local government officers as stakeholders. They can be invited for awareness as their role. So here we have clearly given out the management measures, the stakeholders involved, and their roles. So, for example, here, if the learner has given a minimum or maximum 5 management roles, has given 6 or more. They must be 6 or more. If you have given 6 management roles, management measures, you have given at least 6 stakeholders, as we are listing them, and 6 roles. That means that under providing the mitigation measures for item 3, the learner has scored 6 weights. Hopefully, we understand that area. Conclusion: ICT tools offer powerful learning opportunities, but when mishandled or neglected, they pose risks to both people and property. By combining student training, regular maintenance, and protective infrastructure, schools can avoid ICT disasters. Additionally, managing e-waste through recycling, reuse, and stakeholder collaboration ensures environmental safety, resource conservation, and long-term sustainability. So, with this conclusion, the learner takes 1 score, or call it 1 weight. So, in part A, we were looking at the cause, which is EC, explaining the cause, maximum responses 5. We now looked at providing the management measures, where we are giving a measure, a stakeholder, and their role. Maximum, more than sufficient, 6. Format of the document, FD 3. Introduction, conclusion, then the general structure of the document. Total, these are 14 weights. So this means that now we go to our table. Item 3, the learner has scored 14. Let's now turn to section B. Section B, part 2, where a candidate is also supposed to answer 1 item. Item 4. Joel, a senior 4 student at Kingsview Secondary School, has been nominated to represent his district in a national ICT quiz competition. The competition will be held online, and participants are expected to register using a website. Log in using credentials provided after registration and complete the quiz under timed conditions. Joel is excited about the opportunity, but admits he has never participated in an online assessment before. He approaches you for help, worried about technical mistakes he might make during registration. accessing the platform, or submitting the quiz properly. Task: write a detailed step-by-step guide for Joel on how to register, prepare for, and successfully participate in the online quiz using ICT tools. Here is the task after reading through the scenario of item 4. Let's now look at the scoring guide for item 4. Here is the scoring guide for item 4, section B, part 2. The competence, the code, the descriptor or evidence skill, and the weights. So here, the learner describes the procedure Joel should follow to register, prepare for, and participate in the online quiz. Here, you are describing the procedure. Describing the procedure. The learner has identified 6 or more relevant steps, P, with appropriate ICT tool, T, e.g. using a browser to access the website, etc. If there are 6 or more, those are more than sufficient. The learner qualifies for 6 weights. If you have identified 4 to 5 relevant steps with the tools, 3 weights. If you have identified 2 to 3 relevant steps, those are basic, 1 score. Then from there, we look at the logical flow. If you have followed the logical flow, FL, the learner presents steps in a complete logical sequence from registration to quiz submission, 3 weights. If you present partial or incomplete sequence, those are 2 weights. The conclusion as part of the format of the document, if it is very clear, that is 1 weight. Total weights, maximum weights for item 4 are 10. Let's now look at the expected responses for item 4. Start numbering your work very well. What are we looking at? Section B, part 2, item 4. Expected responses. You can begin with the introduction or you can leave it out. Because for item 4 and 5, we don't consider the introduction so much, but we are looking at the logical flow of steps and the conclusion. But a learner can give an introduction so that you can start very well. Joel, a senior 4 student, has qualified for an online ICT quiz but lacks experience in navigating online platforms. He needs a clear and practical guide to help him register, prepare, and confidently complete the timed quiz without technical errors. Here is a step-by-step guide for registering, participating in the quiz. Step 1. Step 1. Open a reliable web browser. So, a reliable web browser here is a tool. On your laptop, opening a reliable web browser, is a step. So this one is a step, which is P. On your laptop or tablet, so laptop or tablet, this is a tool, T. Launch a secure and updated web browser such as Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, all these are tools. Microsoft Edge. These browsers provide stable performance and help you access modern online platform securely. So here is a step that is having the tools in it. Step 2, access the quiz registration website. Type the correct quiz registration URL, e.g. www.nationalictquiz.org into the browser's address bar. Double check the link for any typos to avoid phishing websites or fake platforms, and an internet connection must be active. So internet connection here is a tool, and we have clearly described our step. 3. Fill in the registration form. Use your keyboard or touch screen to enter accurate information. Touch screen or keyboard, this is a tool, such as full names, school district, phone numbers, and email address into the form on the web page. Click Submit and wait for an on-screen or email confirmation. So this is another step. Step 4, receive and save login credentials. Check your email inbox or SMS app. These are tools for a message containing your username and password. Save the login details by writing them down in a notebook or taking a screenshot using your phone. That is another tool in this stage or step. 5. Prepare for the quiz. Use ICT learning tools like revision notes, ebooks, or mobile learning apps to review key ICT topics. Charge your devices fully and update any quiz-related apps or browser extensions beforehand. That is another step. Step 6. Test your equipment and connection. Check that your internet connection is stable using your Wi-Fi router or a mobile hotspot. Those are tools. Test your device's camera and microphone if required by the quiz. Close background apps to reduce internet lag. So this is also a step. So now, number 7, login on time. On the quiz day, return to the quiz platform using the browser and log in with the credentials provided. Aim to log in 15 to 30 minutes early to resolve any unexpected technical issues. So that is a P. The browser is a tool. 8. Read instructions carefully. Before starting the quiz, carefully read the rules displayed on the screen, such as number of questions, time limits, navigation methods, and whether you can go back to previous questions. P. 9. Attempt the quiz. Click Start button to begin. Read each question attentively and answer within the allocated time. Avoid switching tabs or multitasking to prevent disqualification. P. Submit your quiz. Number 10. After completing all questions, click the Submit button and confirm your submission. Wait patiently for the system to process your responses. Do not close the browser until submission is successful. That is another P. 11. Save confirmation or screenshot. Once submission is complete, take a screenshot of the confirmation page or write down the reference number. This serves a proof of completion in case of technical issues. That is another procedure well described. Number 12, log out securely. After submission, log out from the quiz platform and close your browser to protect your account and personal data from unauthorized access. So, here we are looking at a learner who has provided. The learner has provided all the description, the procedures, and the tools. So here we say that DP, description of the procedures with the ICT tools, and we said if you have provided 6 or more relevant steps with the tools, you qualify for 6 weights. That is where you are bringing a procedure and the tool involved. Procedure and the tool involved. If there are 6 and more, you qualify for 6 weights. Then we bring out a conclusion. Conclusion. By following these simple steps, Joel can confidently participate in the online quiz without errors. Proper preparation, reliable internet, and understanding the platform's features are key to success in digital assessments. So now that we have given a conclusion, CLN 1 score. Now, we started by giving the procedures well described. That is for DP, 6 weights maximum. We have seen that our content has been flowing very well in the logical flow, which is FL, 3 weights. Then the conclusion, which is the format of the document, is 1. In total, 10 weights. So we go down, examiners use only, item 4, 10 scores. Then we can now focus on section B part 2, item 5. Item 5. The Uganda National Cultural Council is planning a competition where youth groups across the country are invited to submit proposals for community arts and culture projects. Submissions are to be made through a national online platform in a PDF format. The deadline is just a few days away. A youth drama group in your community led by a passionate but computer illiterate coordinator has drafted their proposal on paper and needs urgent help converting it into a digital format and submitting it online. The coordinator heard that you are good with computers and has asked you for assistance. Task: write a step-by-step guide to help the group leader complete and submit the proposal successfully online. That is end of item 5 and end of the paper. Let's now look at the scoring guide and its expected response or expected responses. So this is the scoring guide, the competence, the code, the descriptor, call it evidence, skill, or any ability the learner has exhibited, and the weights. The learner describes a step-by-step procedure to digitize and submit the proposal. That is describing the procedure. DP identifies 6 or more relevant steps with necessary ICT tools, e.g. typing, converting to PDF, scanning, uploading to platform. If there are 6 and more, they are more than sufficient. If the learner identifies 4 to 5 relevant steps with tools, those are sufficient. 3 weights. You identify 2 to 3 relevant steps, that is basic. 1 weight. If there is logical flow, you have followed the logical flow, FL. You have presented steps in a complete logical sequence from typing to submission. Those are 3 weights. If it is incomplete or partial, 2 weights. No logical flow, 0. Conclusion, as format of the document, you have provided a relevant conclusion emphasizing the importance of using ICT tools for timely submission. You get 1 weight. Total weight, 10. Why? Item 4 was taking 10 weights, same for item 5, because a candidate will choose to attempt item 4 or item 5, depending on how they found the scenario fit for them. So let's look at expected responses for item 5. When it comes to item 5, write section B part 2, item 5. You can bring an introduction if you feel it fit for what you are going to start on. Me, I felt it fit, and here is the introduction. A youth drama group is required to submit a community project proposal online. However, the group leader lacks ICT skills. You must help them convert the handwritten proposal into a digital format and upload it before the deadline using appropriate ICT tools. Here are the step-by-step guide submitting the proposal online. Step 1, type the proposal. So here, type the proposal. How? Open Microsoft Word or Google Docs or any other word processor on computer. So Google Doc or Microsoft Word is a tool because it is software. On computer or smartphone, these are hardware tools. Use a keyboard to type out the proposal content following the structure provided in the handwritten version. The word processor allows you to insert text headings and formatting as needed. So this is why we are using the ICT tools. Number 2, format and review the document. Using formatting tools within the word processor, apply proper headings, align the content, and organize ideas with bullet points or numbered lists. Use the bulletin spelling and grammar checker to correct any language errors and ensure the proposal looks professional. So this is a procedure. We have talked about some of the tools within a word processor like bullets, grammar checker. Those are tools within a word processor that are inbuilt there. Save and convert to PDF. Once the document is complete, click File and choose Save As or Export to convert it into PDF. If the word processor lacks this feature, you can use an online PDF tool, an online PDF converter like smallpdf.com or I Love PDF. Those are tools. These are tools. Saving the file as PDF preserves formatting and ensures compatibility during upload. This is the reason why we need ICT tool to save as PDF. So we have identified those tools. I love PDF and small PDF. Then number 4, scan supporting documents if any. Use a flatbed scanner or a smartphone scanning app like CAM Scanner or Adobe Scan to capture images of supporting materials such as certificates, group photos, or signed letters. The scanned files should be saved in PDF or JPEG format and clearly named. So this is another procedure. 5. Organize all files in a folder. Open your file manager. This is a tool, e.g. File Explorer on computer or Google Files on a smartphone, and create a folder labeled Proposal Submission. Place the proposal, PDF, and all scanned documents into this folder to keep everything in one accessible location. That is why we need file management. 6. Access the submission website. Open a web browser like Chrome, Firefox, and go to the official website, Uganda National Culture website. Ensure your internet connectivity is active. This site hosts the portal where the proposal will be submitted. 7. Upload the proposal. On the website, navigate to the Submit Proposal section, click Upload button, and browse to the folder where your files are stored. Select the proposal PDF and any required attachments. The website will allow multiple files to be uploaded if necessary. So this is another procedure. Fill out the required fields. Complete the online form provided on the portal by entering details such as your group's name, the coordinator's phone number, and the email, your district, the project title. Use the keyboard or touch screen to input information directly in the form fields. 9. Submit the application. After confirming that all the fields are correctly filled and all documents have been uploaded, click the Submit button. Wait for the confirmation message on screen and take a screenshot or write down the submission reference number for your records. So here we have described the procedure 9. Number 10, confirm submission via email. If the system sends a confirmation email, open your email app like Gmail or Outlook, check the inbox or spam folder and save the confirmation message. This email serves as official proof that your proposal was successfully received. That is a procedure well described. So when you look at the procedures that you have well described, describing the procedure, we say if the candidate has described 6 or more relevant steps, the procedures on how to achieve that, you qualify for 6 weights. Then the conclusion. By following these steps, the group leader can successfully submit their proposal online before the deadline. ICT tools simplify the documentation and sharing process, ensuring timely and professional submission. This is our conclusion. It also carries 1 score. So we have seen that as per item 5, we have what we call describing the procedure, the step, 6 scores. Then the flow, 3 weights. Then format of the document, where we had on the conclusion, 1. Total, 10. So now, if the runner has attempted item 5, 10 scores. Now, you get what the runner scored here. If the runner, for example, on item 1 scored 8, here they have scored 10, and here they have scored 8 in total. So that means that we shall get our 8 plus 10 plus 8, which is 26 out of 36. So if I've scored 26 out of, 35, now we need to get the total. So 26 out of 35 times 50. So 26 out of 35 times 50, 26 divided by 35 times 50, you get 37 out of 50. 37 out of 50. That is the final score that you put here. So now, our candidate here had scored all the scores, so meaning that we have 35 out of 35. So we can say 50 out of 50. That is paper 1. So we have finished looking at the items, how well they should be scored by using the given codes. Let's now continue and wind up. So there are those codes that I have explained. So if there are consequences, you need to call them CQ. There are management measures, MT or M. If there are stakeholders, HS, their roles are like that, as we have seen in the video. There are those items, there are those codes for item 1, codes for item 2 and item 3, codes for item 4 and item 5. This book called ICT Mastery for Uganda's Competence-Based Curriculum is a guide to theory and practical success. It covers senior 1 to senior 4. It has all those codes that I have been listing down. It has a number of scenario items and their responses. It is to guide candidates in senior 4, to guide learners in senior 3, how best they can grow up, and then they do the final exam very well in ICT. Together against the digital divide, together we can make good results in ICT. Keep following the YouTube channel. Continue getting copies for your candidates. How about this book? A practical approach on designing websites using WordPress. It is a step-by-step guide to creating your own website, the easy way out. Get copies and design websites using WordPress. The book has step-by-step. With this book, you don't even need another facilitator because the book itself has guide step-by-step. Clear images, clear guidance. After designing your website, the book has steps on how you will host your book. You will host your website for free using the guidance in the book. Those designing websites as projects, the book has guidance on how you will design that website and you host it. So that someone at a far distance, someone outside your school can look at your website and score it. Grab a copy of this. Those who are looking at designing websites quickly, but with Expression Web, you don't host, but you can design your websites. You practice with Expression Web and design those websites. The book is also available. It is a step-by-step guide designing websites using Expression Web 4. The book is available. When you get the book, you also get the software as well. All the books have their support files. Teaching in classroom, you need these books. Elite Information Communication and Technology ICT, Learner's Book, Teacher's Guide, from Senior 1 to Senior 4. The books are available. Learner's Book, Teacher's Guide, from Senior 1 to Senior 4. How about A-Level? A-Level, the curriculum changed to competence-based. It has been aligned to the lower secondary curriculum. And now, here is one of the best ICT books that you need to have. Mastering Subsidiary ICT for A-Level, Learner's Book 5. It is a competence-based theory and practical approach. Senior 5. It is in line with the aligned A-Level curriculum. It follows the syllabus very well, line per line, page per page. It has all those notes you need in classroom, the content. It has both theory and practical. It has all those practical activities in class, group work, individuals. It has those activities of integration. It also has self-assessment knowledge questions. The teacher's guide is also available. Teachers, all those activities in the learner's book have been addressed in the teacher's guide. You have all answers to the activities of integration, the evaluation grids. You also have lesson plan templates, scheme of work templates in this teacher's guide. So grab copies as soon as now. Hard copies are available. Those who feel they can have soft copies, please contact me and have the soft copies of these very books as well. This is the learner's book. That is how it looks like. This is the teacher's guide. That is how it looks like. These books are a bit bulky. For example, the learner's book has over 278 pages. The teacher's guide has over 435 pages. So the books are a bit bulky, but they are manageable. I normally print them in B5, which can fit in almost every bag. If you are a learner, you are a teacher. So, thank you very much. Continue following me on my YouTube channel for more updates. Guess what? Teachers, ICT Teachers Capacity Building Workshop is here for you. ITAU, ICT Teachers Association of Uganda, Together Against Computer Illiteracy, is coming up with this workshop. KAKURU BENARD, I'm one of the lead facilitators there. ITAU President Rucham's Ronald will also be there. It is scheduled for 1st June 2025 from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We meet at Elite High School, Entebbe. Fee is 60,000 per attendee. It is for teachers only. Contact KAKURU BENARD on 077 56 107 62. Contact Rucham's Ronald on 078 155 3788. See you at Elite High School in Entebbe. Walk the talk. That is from Titus chapter 2 verse 7. Walk the talk. ICT Teachers Association of Uganda, Together Against Computer Illiteracy. And now, KABS ICT Resources Center, led by KAKURU BENARD. Continue following it. on the YouTube channel, like all the latest videos, share them. Together against computer illiteracy, together against digital divide, Jabres KAKURU BENARD. So call me on my contacts 7756 10762. I will serve you with all these books to your best. Jabres.